Connecticut. We just met this, Sunday?
48 hours ago.
48 hours ago. And this is Steve Ives Part 2. So you're
Enjoy, you might have.
You play golf as slow as he does?
You guys played pretty fast out here. We played 9 holes, and I was feeling the pressure. Just grip it, rip it, and keep moving. Actually, Scott said you would start a conversation with him and say, "Hey, Scott, so where do you work in Connecticut?" And before he could even answer, you would take off with your golf cart.
You sons of bitches are the slowest golfers.
So I know Jamie gave a little introduction, but a lot of you folks know each other. And my name is Andrew Stratton. I'm here with Joe Finaro, Frank Giacino, Scott McDermott, and we all met Peter in 7th grade in Connecticut. I'm not going to, in all seriousness, I'm not going to do much of a roast. I'm just going to tell a couple stories from when we were younger. And then, we could end up with Wade, and I'm sure you're going to tear a new one. Yeah, so when you're on vacation and every day kind of blurs together and you forget which day it is? Well, I realized this morning that today was Friday and that I was going to have to get up here and do a little bit of a roast. And I hold a course record here at Gallardia Country Club. I don't know if you know that. Pete has a few course records. Well, he did in Jupiter, Florida, 63, right? What course? Right, my course record is a little different. I hold the record for the most, what are they called? Club specials consumed in a 24-hour period. And that was yesterday. And there's actually, when you guys go down there to the men's lounge, there's a picture of Phil and I, and they presented me with the award and everything. So it's Lardia Club Special record holder. So I'm incredibly hungover. I did everything I could today to try and recover. And good thing, this country club has everything you could possibly need to recover. So I started off with Gatorade and water. Actually, Jamie hooked me up with an IV from Gatorade. And then I spent some time in the hot tub. I tried to sweat out my sins in the sauna. Almost died in the sauna, actually. And anyway, so enough about me. Oh my God, here I go again. Steve, it's so hard to talk about other people. Steve understands. When you're in love with yourself. Steve actually told me if I got nervous to just picture him naked. Steve, I've been picturing you naked since the moment I saw you. So thank God for Facebook. It's tough to keep in touch with Pete because he never returns any of my phone calls. But Facebook, we're able to see Will and Ella grow older. We're able to see, perfect time to see Pete in these outrageous outfits. Not that I'm beautiful, but I just didn't know that wearing a sweater, actually you don't really wear it. It's kind of draped over your shoulders, tied in a nice little knot. No, it looks great. Pete was straight when he was like, people ask me a lot of questions. They're like, did Pete retire? All I see on Facebook, he's going on these trips with a bunch of guys, and they're just, he's constantly golfing. And I came out here to just check things out and make sure he's working hard. He's actually not working that hard. This morning, and I'm going to quote him right now, he was so hungover that he wanted me to come in and sit in his office. Like, he's like, just go in there, you know, here, put this Vineyard Vines shirt on, and this pink tie with little whales on it. And go sit in my office, and then just like cough every once in a while, and use, you know, just be grumpy and pull it off. But I said, Pete, I can't do it. I'm a people person. You hate people. And I love people. So that's opposites attract. You know, Pete and I have been. He's actually. He always had like a vision. I'm a bit of a follower. That's why I drank 17 club specials. Because people are telling me to. But even in 7th grade, Pete always, you know, had a vision of exactly where we were going. You know, we were going to head off to Notre Dame and pretty much take over the school. And he kind of did that. He was a 3-sport athlete. You mentioned, you know, he chose golf, but he was a great hockey player, great pitcher on the baseball team. I had, you know, so many athletic talents that I chose to focus on cross country. I thought that would be, you know, the best challenge for my abilities. It was a great season. I did 1 year. No, so you are working hard. It reminds me of we were kind of worried about Pete getting the top job, you know, at Galardia, and believe me, he reminds us all the time. I'm executive director. Because I tried, and I'm like, oh, Pete, tell someone you're a head pro. He's like, I'm not the head pro. Executive director. So, but we were worried about the business side of, you know, just Pete keeping an eye on top line revenue, because his first job was just complete polar opposite of this place. It was at a country club called, actually it's not a country club, it was a dog track called Meadowbrook Golf Course. They couldn't call it a country club, that just would have been laughable. So there was our principal at our elementary school decided, you know, I've got the summer off, July and August, I'm going to buy this golf course and run it. And in his infinite wisdom, he put Pete in charge. He was like 14 years old. And Pete was running this golf course in the summers. And we'd go in there, and he would just say, you know, take whatever you want. And we would try to pay, just like we've been trying to pay since we got here. And actually, I haven't tried to pay for it. But you know, anyway, so he would give us all this free stuff. And this course was in such terrible shape. I mean, you would think, you know, it's just, words can't describe how awful it was. You couldn't get your tee into the tee box. You literally have to have like a little hammer, you know, attached to your bag and pound it into the tee boxes. The garbage cans were always overflowing with like empty beer cans and everything. I mean, literally, this is a course where guys would have a pack of Marlboro Red cigarettes rolled up in their shirt sleeve. So you've definitely come a long way. Do you have my other favorite part about the course before I move on? Actually, it's not even a course anymore. The town had to take it over. It was in such bad shape, and then they decided to just destroy it and build a school, make some real, you know, better use of the land. But there was nowhere to eat on the course. Yet on the, I don't know, 3rd hole, 4th hole, there was a little path that would take you. There was a local fast food restaurant. The parking lot literally like was adjacent to the course. So Pete, like just like, you know, as you're making the turn, maybe you could call in and order, have some, you know, hot dogs with bronzing cream on them. And Pete would ask us what we wanted, and he would take the golf cart through the drive-thru at Duchess. He'd pull up, you know, the little microphone comes on, and, you know, back then they probably couldn't see who was in the drive-thru. They may not have taken your order if they known it was a golf cart, but and that's where we would get our food. We would literally get fried food, just, you know, fries, burgers. So you have come a long way from Meadowbrook Country Club to here, but in all seriousness, you're a great, loyal friend. Pete is someone that he really enjoys when other people are having a good time. You know, like that kind of translates into Pete having a good time. This is like the perfect job for him because he always wants everyone to have a good time and have fun, and he plans trips to the Masters or trips to Ireland. And I mean, that's part of the reason I drank so much last night, because I knew he'd be happy. So I just, I did that for you. So, no, but you're a great father to Will and Ella. You've met a great woman out here in Oklahoma, Gina, who's been great putting up with us. I hope the relationship makes it till Sunday when we leave. But in all seriousness, and in everybody that we've met, really, you guys just have welcomed us with open arms. So, wanted to just thank you for that. Pete, I can't believe you're turning 40. Maybe that's why we can't bounce back from these hangovers as well as we used to. But again, thanks for having us. And I forgot this one thing. I did have a prop. In 2003, 9 years ago, do you guys know Pete was in Golf Magazine? No? Yeah, you should know. He has this plastered up in his office. So, it's hard to find. Let's see. Sorry. There it is. So everyone's talking about how Pete's going to be in Golf Magazine, page 93. And I was the first one to get it. I went to the local newsstand. Hold on. So, I was really excited. I was like, Pete's had a great career so far, playing on some mini tours. I couldn't believe that they're going to finally recognize him, write an article about him. I couldn't wait to read it. I picked this magazine up. I read it from cover to cover. There's no mention of you. Not even like, but he is in it. I'm not lying. Numbers don't lie either. This is Pete, Golf Magazine. It was about launching it and hitting long drives, which we all know he can do. And then there's another picture of him where I'll pass this around, he's extremely constipated in this picture. You look at his face. Do you remember that picture? Of course you do. Anyway, so there's actually, were you just eye candy? I have no idea why you're in this, but it says how the tour pros hit it so far. And I was like, he's not a tour pro. It was confusing from start to finish. And I reread this recently, planning to come out here, hoping that maybe I missed, his name or his reference. And once again, there's nothing about his magazine, but it's useless. But Pete, thank you for hosting us. I know you're just on vacation with your family last week. Now you're going to deal with us. Double whammy, 2 weeks in a row. But happy birthday. We're excited to be here. And I'm actually going home right now. This is it for me. Okay, thank you.